Hey guys, this is Issues with Teddy. One skip, I got kicked out the tent, fort tent, my fort tent. I got kicked out of. Gypsies officially ran me out of the basement. That's okay. Guys, so yesterday, the whole country had basically a really bad storm except for people in California and Florida, I guess. But I think it was probably felt, you know. And there's just a lot of stuff going on in this country, so uh I kind of took the day off yesterday, but not really because, you know, it was a bad day weather wise, and you got to do things about that, especially when you have pets. And I wasn't in Florida or California. So, yeah, I felt it. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys, really just kind of have a conversation about Gypsy Rose, Wade Wilson, social media, uh, people that co sign and protect and find these people to be important. Why? They should just have a fucking red light blinking over their head screaming danger. Why are we turning them into, I don't even want to use the word celebrity. Why are we making them popular? Why are we making them known? And in the meantime, there's not a lot being said about the victims here, not nearly as loud. Something is wrong when people get donations to help somebody be comfortable in a prison setting after they've admitted to unaliving two people for no reason, no self-defense, just no reason. And then people making sure that they have movies to watch, food to eat, and it's as comfortable as possible. And some of these people do without, right? Yesterday, I believe there was a trial for a woman named Bonnie, who was a supporter of Wade Wilson, right? And she had this, well, he gave her this brilliant idea of, just smuggling drugs. And she was stupid enough to do so. He also had a fella, that was my dad speaking from me. You had a guy that was in a cell with Wade Wilson, or next to Wade Wilson, who just idolized Wade Wilson. And he went ahead and he put, I think his name is Brandon. You can look him up. He's a Florida inmate as well. He has the same tattoos, and yeah, he unalived somebody. Wade Wilson Club. And then we look over at Gypsy Rose and we see people that follow her, people that she influences. It doesn't have to be a huge group of people in this big ass world. All it takes is one person like Wade Wilson who influenced the guy that unalived somebody. That's not Wade's fault. And it actually happened in jail. Gypsy's out here selling a story. And she's selling a story with everybody else, a narrative that's untrue, that makes her look like a victim when she was the villain. She was the villain, and people are turning her into some sort of superstar. I mean, is that what's going on in this country now? And I don't want to get political, but we see people on the streets behaving absolutely horrifically. And you have some people that support them. You have people that go in for those jobs. We have a lot of misguided and angry people in this country right now. Just in this country alone, I'm speaking. A lot of people that feel ripped off, a lot of people that have been, their money doesn't, no matter how hard they work, their money just will not cover rent and basic necessities. And you have desperate people. And then you see people like Wade Wilson, who was convicted of the unaliving of two women, and he's making bank. And you see people like Gypsy Rose, who has the red carpet rolled out for her, and a bunch of shows that are made on her, even though the story each time is different. Okay, so now we've said, hey, that's not, no, 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 that's not, we don't want that. But then we have, mainstream media that puts out these documentaries and these narratives that make this shit look glamorous. And they influence. So the thing about the Truth Train and showing Gypsy's crime, what if it comes out that Gypsy unalived her mom? What if all of Gypsy's stories are proven untrue? And what if it comes out? What if Nick finally speaks and Nick says, I don't know. I really don't remember Dee Dee moving. I remember seeing some blood on the scene and somebody else was there. What if all of that comes out? What if one of us are amateur sleuths here? What if one of us breaks the case wide open? Well, we would have to have proof, right? Because when you take a plea deal, another thing that's fucked up, in my opinion, when you take a plea deal and you close up the case, how do you go back and find things? It's not a running case. Somebody has been charged with the crime. So how do we know? And what about like in the Wade Wilson case? Was Wade asked about other unalivings in the area? Was that his first KILL and that he got caught? How do we know things when deals are taken and people are just, that's it, it's over, closed case? We'll never know the truth about Maddie Soto because Jen Soto, her mom, who knew that her daughter was sleeping with Jen Soto, her mother's boyfriend, at the ripe old age of 9, 10, 11, and 12, and I guess probably on her 13th birthday. And Stefan Stearns, who unalived Maddie Soto, 3 or 4 days after her 13th birthday. And the mother knew that there was X going on between them and he was molesting her. She knew it. And she's not doing any time. So we don't know anything more, right? And do we have to know more? Is it the public that needs to know more? Well, I think that we need to know more so that we know who we're around in society. We need to know who's dangerous to us and around us, and for the people we love, we need to look out for. But then we have people that are our neighbors who might have never been caught. So we can't, right? I mean, simply all we could do is be as careful as possible. But when you see the celebrityism, for lack of a better word, that comes for criminals, and these people are going to be known forever and ever and ever, but the victims not so much so, right? The name, like Charles Manson, it's a shitty legacy. He's an icon. He's not a good icon, but he's an icon. When you say something about the late 60s, 69, I mean, that's one of the first people comes into your friggin' mind. Yes? Yes? So same thing with Wade Wilson. When you see that and those people that know Wade Wilson and you see the tattoo that goes across like that, that's the first person you're going to think about. You know, I don't even know that you'll think of the Deadpool guy first. I think if you bring up Wade Wilson online right now, you might bring up the criminal Wade Wilson, not Deadpool Wade Wilson. And then you have people that make money off of stuff like this, like Melissa Moore, who, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought Melissa Moore just had to live under the unfortunate circumstance that her dad was a serial killer, right? But I didn't know that she was, estranged from him. I didn't know that they didn't share the same last name. I thought she had a plight and it was handed to her and she just had to do the best she could with it. I didn't know she went looking for famous unalivers. And it's almost become a dare for sicker people, right? To one up on somebody else, to maybe take Gypsy's idea of unaliving and claim something. Because listen, she got away with it, right? All she had to do was talk really high. There's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. I mean, the true crime genre, Chris Watts, Andrea Yates, Lori Daybell, Chad Daybell, Sarah Boone, who put her boyfriend in a suitcase. I mean, any crime you want to look up and see how somebody behaves and their weirdness. I mean, Sarah Boone, you should go listen to some of those emails. A woman sitting in prison who unalived somebody. I mean, it's all on video. And still doesn't think she should be there. She was given a plea deal. She'd be out right now. She's demanding shit. Where in what mind and what prison system do we have that has that allows that? I don't think Sarah Boone's getting shit. I think she makes a bunch of people's lives miserable who will in turn make her life miserable. But where does this stuff come from? Social media? Is it just something that people have tried to figure out? Is it innate? Were they going to do it? Did they see something that inspired them to do it? Did they want to have, is their life so shit and that they can't make it in this world? And listen, a lot of people can't make it in this world. There's people living in tents, and thankfully there's shelters this week for people because it's so fucking cold. And then you got people like Gypsy Rose Blanchard and even Wade Wilson. He's got it better. He's got it better than those people that have nothing. So prison looks good. Look at what it did to Gypsy. I mean, Gypsy made money, right? She made money. She had a whole business in there, remember? Right? She was a pay pig, or she had pay pigs, or however the fuck that works. However it works. The Findom, all that stuff, remember? Remember that? Yeah. I don't know, guys. I think that I don't know where we land in this. I I honestly don't know where we land in this. So for the past couple days, I really haven't seen anything about Gypsy Rose. I've just watched movie after movie, and I've enjoyed my mental health date. But I do have questions, and I did want to start a conversation. And yeah, any feedback, I'll take it. Be constructive. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys.